So often, I see at the beginner and intermediate levels, players being up on material, then trying to trade the rest of the pieces off, go into a long endgame, and try to win that way. This way can be totally fine, not saying there's anything wrong with that. However, unfortunately, I see this method go wrong so often, and find players struggling to convert with less and less pieces on the board. Or, the longer the game prolongs, the more likely the chance that they blunder that advantage back and allow their opponents to come back into the game. So, in the continuation of my speedrun today, the two themes of this game are Knights in the Rim are Grim, and tips to convert your game when you're up on material. Hope you enjoy and find this helpful, and let's get into the game. Alrighty, so we found an opponent rated 1100. To start off with D3, not very common, but I'm going to go ahead and take the center with D5. Going for Fianchetto, it seems. So I have the option of Fianchetto as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the center first, since they're giving it to me, so I might as well. Okay, now they fight for the center a little bit. This move is interesting because I do have the option to take this pawn, and if they were to take back, I can take their queen and their king can't castle anymore. But I have to decide if I really want to go for that super early or not. I'm just going to develop my pawn to c6 here and just keep this nice structure and support my pawn in the center. So I don't really want to release the tension yet. I don't feel like there's a need to. Okay, queen e2. I see their idea. They're trying to take this pawn and attack my pawn on e5. So I'm going to develop my bishop out, getting one step closer to castling and supporting my center pawns. And if it seems like they're playing for a similar idea, so I'm going to go ahead and move my queen out to c7, developing a piece, supporting his pawn in the center. King safety, very important. Okay, they play c4. The whole point of this speedrun is to follow the basic principles. So I'm going to go ahead and develop my knight out. Yes, it is blocking my light square bishop temporarily, but I don't plan to leave this knight here on d7, so we're going to try to bring it out maybe to c5 in the future. Alright, they play the move knight c3. I'm going to go ahead and play the move d4 to hit this knight back. Alright, the theme of today, guys, Knights on the Rim are Grim. When they move the knight to a4, there's no possible square this knight can go to, which leaves it open for me to play the move b5 here and just trap this knight in the corner. You always want to be careful whenever you move a piece to the corner of the board, because if there's no escape routes, the chances that they're trapped are very high. He needed to have a pawn on b3 before he plays the move knight a4 so he can go back to b2. Because he didn't, he's basically just down a piece now. So we'll attack this knight. Alright, so he decides to move back to c3. Now, I could end the video here and just say, hey, the theme is Knights on the Rim are Grim, now we're up a whole piece. But being up a whole piece doesn't mean the game is over, especially at a lower level. Knowing how to convert the game efficiently and as fast as you can is a very important skill to have. So we're going to see how quickly we can convert this position here. So the first things first, I want to make sure all my pieces are working together. I could go and grab this pawn, but I'm welcoming him to develop his bishop with tempo on my queen, then potentially hit my queen again with a rook, and I don't really think I need to waste my time taking a pawn. So I'm going to prioritize getting this bishop out, because that's the one piece, because that's the last minor piece that I still haven't gotten out yet. So I'm going to play the move knight to c5. Putting some pressure on this e4 pawn so that he can't play d4 yet, or he'll lose this pawn, and allowing my bishop to come out to g4. Putting a pin on this knight, and getting the last minor piece out into the game. Okay, they play the move c4. I'm just simply going to play the move b4 and just keep this position closed here. Okay, so he plays the move a3, which is not a good move at all because it allows me to create a passed pawn. A lot of low-rateds have the tendency to trade everything once they're at material and liquidate into an endgame that, from trends I've noticed with my own students, goes on for either way too many moves, or they liquidate so much that they have problems converting with the minimal pieces that they have left. Before you consider a trade, even if you're up material, still consider all your other options here. Because I could have easily traded and been, oh, I'm up a whole piece, sure, let's trade everything. But now I have a chance of winning faster because of this super strong pass pawn on b3 that cannot be attacked or taken at all. Now I'm going to play the move a5 with the goal of playing a4 and just back up this pawn here on b3. So they stopped me from playing that move, which is fine, but now this pawn is a liability to them because this rook cannot ever move, or I'm going to take this pawn with my knight. So that's fine. Let's focus on getting our bishop out. Pin the knights. Alright, they play h3. So in a position like this, I'm happy to trade off the bishop for the knights, because I don't see my bishop doing too much else right now, and I'm up enough material. Alright, so I've activated all my minor pieces. My rooks still need to come onto the game. But I see that he has this weak pawn, and if I can get rid of that weak pawn, that's my ticket to winning quickly, because then I'll have 2 passed pawns. So I'm going to try to find a way to attack that pawn, and the way I see it is to play the move queen d7. Not only putting a second attacker on this pawn on a4, but all the way across the other diagonal, I'm hitting the pawn on h3 as well. So I'm forking both his pawns, and he's going to have to end up losing one. Okay, with the move rook to a3, I'm just going to develop my rook outs, add more supports. And this is the power of tension at quite a simple level, but it still proves the points. He has both his rooks, 2 major pieces, lined up, trapped on the a file to babysit this one pawn. And I have my rook on this open file, my knight is super strong on c5, and even if I can't win this pawn, these rooks look pretty bad here. So I'm going to focus my attention on the other side, take this pawn on h3 that he's not able to defend. Okay, bishop there. You can just bring this queen back a little bit. Also, at any point, if I just move this knight out, we have a nice discovery here. Okay, they choose to play bishop c1. What's the purpose of this move? Not sure what they're going for, but I see that I have a discovery, and if I move my knight out of the way, this rook is basically trapped. So I'm going to move my knight back to a6 here. I always have b4 as a square to jump to in the future, and now we're just starting to win in exchange. Alrighty, and that is GG. They resign, and in 23 moves, we have converted the game, which is exactly 10 moves later from when we won the night originally. So instead of going the long route and trying to trade as many pieces as possible, go down to an endgame where we're up 1 piece and try to win from there, I tried to focus on improving my pieces, thinking twice every time I had the option to trade, created a pass pawn, and utilized this pass pawn to accelerate my advantage to winning the game. I tried to support that pawn, keep improving my pieces, saw a target, and as soon as I saw the target, I tried to find the quickest way to capitalize on that target. And by keeping that tension on that one target, it made the rest of my opponent's pieces basically become useless, leading me to an easy conversion, where I'm going to be up more material after taking this rook with a killer pass pawn and nothing that my opponent can do to come back into the game. So I hope this was a nice short example of ways you can go about a position where you're up material, and tips to converting a position more efficiently and quicker next time you're playing a game and you're up material. Let me know if this was helpful. Leave a like, comment down below what you want to see next. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.